All right, good afternoon. Welcome to the afternoon experiment. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I'm with you for a very short amount of time, but I definitely had to come on. Number one, just to say hello, and yeah, I'll be back. I'm not sure that I'll do a show tomorrow, just because things are still so hectic afterwards. Like I had to go deliver some stuff. Things were still so hectic afterwards. And then today, things got even more hectic from my little trip. So, but I think I'll be here tomorrow. But yeah, I'm just now getting an opportunity to go live today. And I know I missed so much. I missed the whole, the breakup, the fight, and, the people trying to, be intermediaries and now, the makeup. I missed all of it. And I had good stuff. To say, but I missed it all. Now they're doing all of the protesting, and I don't know how to feel about this. Now, I'll be honest, I haven't really watched much news about it, so my brain ain't clouded by everybody else's opinions. And I don't know how to feel about it, but I'll get into it in just a second. Let me say hello to everybody, as I customarily do. This should be really quick, because I did announce, somebody put up there, I did announce I would be back on the 11th, because I thought I would be back on the 11th. And then on the 11th, so much stuff happened yesterday. I wanted to be here, but then I found myself up in, I don't even remember what city that is, up north in Ohio, driving this gigantic truck delivering equipment back to people. Let me just say hello. Dina Johnson, the angel. She's first. Good afternoon, Dina. Good afternoon. And I think she's representing Walnut Hills. I feel like it's been so long, I don't remember where nobody from. Anthony Prosser in the house. Good afternoon, Anthony. Good afternoon. Got Maria Smith in the house, representing North College Hill. Good afternoon, Maria. Lewis Talbert in the house. Good afternoon, Lewis. Hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4. And rounding out the top 5, Regina Denson Griffin, representing Madisonville. Good afternoon, Regina. Good afternoon. We got David Herring in the house. David Herring, good afternoon. Let me see. David is the smart aleck. Talking about welcome back, June 11th. Nick Brown in the house. He says, greetings from beautiful Blue Ash. Greetings to you and beautiful Blue Ash. Let's see. David says he's representing Butler County today. Dina, yes, Walnut Hills. DeWanda Wise Hunter. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon. We got Brenda Early out there in Fairfield. We got Samuel Kemble Jr., representing Sycamore Township. David says Toledo. No, I wasn't in Toledo. It was, I don't remember. I don't remember the little city. It's a little city. I don't remember it. But it's near Russia. Ohio. Karen, I didn't even know there was a Russia, Ohio. But there is a Russia, Ohio. And I drove through Russia, Ohio. Karen Dye Williams, representing West End. Good afternoon. Janice, good afternoon. Y'all know she my favorite. She said she was scrolling and just landed on me. Oh, if I had a nickel for every time a woman just landed on me, I would have a nickel. But thank you for checking me out, Janice, and good afternoon. Let's see. I think that's it. That's all the hellos. And I didn't expect it to be very many because, I assume that most people believe that I wouldn't be here. I wasn't sure that I was going to be here. I was dealing with an exceptionally complicated what do you call it when people are just they are your client and they are exceptionally difficult. That's what I was dealing with, an exceptionally difficult client. No, I'm just playing. I did have to get a small order out today. And so I had to go and get that taken care of. Otherwise, I'd have been on at 3. But, I had to get that taken care of because that was important. Terrence Howard in the house. I see you, Terrence. Good afternoon. Terrence, you did a good job. I don't know why you cut the show short. But you did I didn't get to watch the whole show. I was doing a lot of stuff, but I got a chance to listen here and there, and you did a good job. And like I said, you were, you're ready for your own show, man. I'm lobbying for you to get, maybe I shouldn't be the one lobbying. If I lobby for you to get your own show, you'll never get your own show. But man, you're doing a good job over there. You're doing a good job. So I appreciate you. I see Jerica in the house. Jerica had asked me earlier if I was going to come on today, and I was telling everybody that I would have been on, but I had this exceptionally difficult client that I was trying to take care of and get their order out. And it was just, oh my goodness, it was just so difficult. No, it wasn't difficult. I had to say the joke again, y'all. I just had to. Pamela Kinney, good afternoon. Good afternoon. She's representing North Avondale. I see Linda Evans in the house. Good afternoon. Hey. Terrence had a great after show too. I did not see an after show. But I hope everyone's had a great couple of weeks. I feel like it's been a couple of weeks since I was here. And I know I missed so much stuff. Like I said, I missed the fight. I was going to pick with some people. Because if you don't know anything about me, I like picking with people. And I was watching my man Wyatt for a few minutes. And let me explain the way. Hold on. Some people don't know. I do this show. I'm a stage manager for this show, Gospel Superfest. And I do a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. And that show we shot on this previous Saturday. But I was there, of course, all week because, we have to build the set and all of that kind of stuff. And then, you got to do sound checks and rehearsals and all of that good stuff. And then afterwards, you got to pack up and, everything got to get back. And while all of that is going on, I have a minute or two here or there to, for me, go on Facebook and check out what's going on. And I was watching Wyatt one day, and he was talking about Corinne, whatever, the cute girl. She ain't no girl, the cute lady. I know she lesbian, but that don't matter. Just so y'all know, for every man that I know, being lesbian don't matter. Like, for women, it makes sense. Like, oh, he gay. Okay, well, I wouldn't mess with him. You know what I'm saying? But if I ran up on a chick and I'm trying to push up on her and she like, but I'm lesbian. I'm like, and? You know what I'm saying? That means you got a friend. That's all that means. You got a friend. More the merrier. The more the merrier. That's all that matter. But for women, y'all shouldn't be that way. It should matter. But for men, it don't matter. What's her name? Corinne Jean-Pierre? Is that her name? Corinne Jean-Pierre? I feel like that's wrong. But either way it go, she's attractive. She's lesbian. And now she's independent. So, she says, hey, I'm going to be an independent now. She's writing a book. Okay. And Wyatt was like, see, they be lying to y'all. And then later on this, and I'm like, but it's all of them. It's all of them. Because later on we found out, not that we didn't already know, Donald Trump been lying to us. 1 minute, they remember when they was asking about Elon Musk and drugs and everything. And Donald Trump was like, he ain't using no drugs. That's all fake news. And then when they get into a fight, he's like, he's the biggest drug addict I ever seen. I don't know if he used those exact words, but one of them ain't true, right? Either ain't no drugs, nothing to see here, or he's a big drug addict. One of those two is true, which means when he said one of them, he was lying. So that means he brought a drug addict to handle the people's, well, just to fire people and pretend like he was saving money. And I mean, this whole thing is crazy. All of it. They're all lying to us. They're all lying to us. So I was watching him and he like, oh yeah, see, they lied to y'all. And I'm like, okay. But I'm going to be honest with you. Everything seemed to be going all right. I don't know exactly who was running what under the Biden administration. I tend to believe, because I watch interviews and such, and, Biden interviews. I tend to believe, yeah, he was a bit diminished. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't like he was when he was 40. But who is? You know what I'm saying? Who at damn near 80 is the same that they were at 40? Yeah, he think a little slower and process things a little slower. That don't mean he wasn't making decisions. And it wasn't people rioting in the streets, okay, protesting in the streets, burning American flags and stuff under him. Princess Flower says, is today Emanuel Livingston first day back? Yes. Terrence said, how are the cicadas in your hood? There are none. I live in the hood, bro. Ain't no cicadas up in the hood. No, there may be, but there aren't any in my neighborhood. No cicadas in my neighborhood. Now, I did go to Kings Island before I left, and they were up there. They were strong up there. But no, none in my hood. But yeah, back to Trump and just politics in general. Let me tell you, I don't believe really that the president is running nothing. I believe there are people pulling strings behind the scenes. We didn't see you at Valerie Davis' funeral. Hold on, Lamont. Are you joking? Did somebody pass away? Is that a joke? Because if it is, I don't think that's funny. Is that a joke? But I believe it's people behind the scenes pulling strings either way it go. So I'm not one of them people who like, oh, he was so incapacitated, And oh, they covered it up. All the news people saying they covered it up. That I don't like. I kind of understand it. I do. I kind of understand it. I never dealt with nobody, necessarily, big time, but I've seen one or two things where, I thought might be, inappropriate or something like that from political officials. And you don't just run out telling stuff. Oh, he couldn't think of this. Oh, he couldn't think of that. Like, that just seems. So I get it. Like, oh, I was at a function. I mean, think about how that would have sounded. You go on the news, hey, welcome to my show tonight on CNN. President Joe Biden forgot George Clooney's name. We were at a function and he was talking and he forgot George Clooney's name. As a listener, I'm like, okay, and this is news. Wait, this is news? This is what's passing for news now? The president forgot somebody's name? Now, maybe once you put everything together and in hindsight, you're like, okay, it was a lot of little stuff that we saw that, kind of looked like, maybe he wasn't all the way there as strong as he used to be. But we understand that dude is old. And we ain't just gonna bust out on him, just for fun. So, I don't know. Everything was still happening. And now Trump is sending in the Marines. First, this stupid parade that they're doing for what is it? The Army's is it the 125th anniversary, birthday, whatever. Trump saw some dictator doing one of these stupid parades, parading tanks and missiles and stuff down the street. And because he wants to be a dictator, he thought, ooh, I want to do that. That's really all this is. That's all this is. Anybody who don't know that, something is wrong with you. That's all this is. And it's stupid. It's tens of millions of dollars worth of stupidity. Tens of millions of dollars worth of stupidity. Just so he can feel like a dictator. Right, Fame. I think that's where I remember him talking about seeing one of the dictators do it, saying, oh, that's a good idea. Why don't we do that? He went somewhere and saw, it might have been China, it might have been Russia, but he went somewhere and they did one. And he thought, we should do that. And he started saying that. And now we're doing it. Just stupid. And now, the people are protesting ICE. And here's where I think I'm a little all over the place. Because there is still a part of me, I wouldn't go out and protest ICE. I feel like maybe not every Latina voted for Trump, but enough. And he was telling y'all what he was going to do when he was running, and y'all still voted for him. Y'all get what y'all get. We told y'all, dumbasses. We told y'all. But y'all did it anyway. So what? Now I'm supposed to feel bad for y'all? And y'all out there protesting. Protesting what? Protesting what you voted for? Well, Emanuel, the people out there protesting are probably not the people that voted for Trump. I don't know that I agree with that. They were so disillusioned that somehow they thought, he ain't talking about me and mine. He's just talking about the gang members. He was talking about all y'all. He was talking about all of y'all, but y'all voted for him. So I find it hard, even though I don't agree with what they doing. I don't agree with what they doing. Because to some degree, they are just rounding up people and then making up stuff. I don't agree with that. But I disagree with it strong enough to really disagree with it. But not strong enough to override y'all vote. Y'all voted for this. Y'all voted for this. And I was watching something and somebody was like, well, where's the black community? The black community, I don't know if the black community's out there with them, but the fact that they ask him, where's the black community? There was some Latino activists saying, where's the black community? The black community is at home saying, we told y'all dumbasses. What y'all thought because y'all got straight hair, did that mean that they accepted y'all or something? No, you're not white. We told y'all, you're not white. They coming for you. I'm sitting back at home chilling. Look at them. Then we tell them. Didn't we tell them? No, they up there talking about Latinos for Trump. Somebody asked, where are the Hispanic leaders? They have leaders. I mean, the same way that we have leaders, there's no leader. But they have leaders. Nat says actually 51% of Hispanics voted for Harris. That's not a high number. That's not a high, it sounds like a high number, but that's not a high number. It should have been like 92%. %. Really, based on what he was saying, it should have been like 99%. And then they should have been whooping ass of the 1% that was doing the opposite. Nat says that's half. So to generalize all seems unfair. Well, first, I never said all. But second, I'm generalizing all because, it was just under half. I don't have the breakdown right in front of me. And I really don't feel like looking it up. I'm tired. What percentage of blacks voted for Harris? Can somebody look that up? What percentage of blacks voted for Harris? Just real quick, if somebody can look that up. I could. I don't feel like it. I just don't feel like it. Stop being lazy, bro. Stop being lazy. Okay. Oh, let me look it up. Oh, for real? Now you ain't gonna work? Okay, there we go. Hold on. For real, you're not gonna work? Okay. All right. Hold on. Oh, come on, go here. And go here. And show me the numbers. Let me see. 55% of Latinos supported Harris. 43% of Latinos supported Trump. 83% of blacks supported Harris. 15% of black voters supported Trump. See, that's even bad. See, and how much have we been getting on them? On all of these so-called independents. I didn't hear Latinos talking about the Latinos who voted for Trump. That's a large percentage. That says to me the mindset in the Latino community was basically split. It wasn't basically 90-10 like the black community. It was closer to 50-50. Vernon says, I can't believe we're still discussing a Democratic candidate who lost every swing state. At the end of the day, for multiple reasons, her candidacy was a disaster. That's not what we're talking about, Vernon. We're not talking about it in that context. Whatever, the election is over. So yeah, that's not necessarily what we're talking about. Listen for a minute and then grasp what we're discussing before you start trying to be smarter than the rest of the room. But yeah, if y'all 50-50 on him, y'all get what y'all get. We told you. You did what you did. Now you deal with it. I'm not burning no flag with you. I'm not protesting with you. When the Marines jump on your A, I won't like it, but I'll understand. I'll be like, okay. Bet they'll vote different next time. Next time that there's a candidate saying, here's what I heard Trump saying, which I don't understand how they didn't hear this. I heard Trump saying, I'm deporting all y'all brown asses. As far as I'm concerned, all y'all Mexicans getting out of here. But they're not from Mexico, sir. They're from Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico, Mexico, it's all the same. I want to get all of they Mexican asses out of here. But I'm from Venezuela. I want to get your Mexican ass out of here. I'm from El Salvador. I want to get your Mexican ass out of here. That's what I heard Trump saying. All those countries, I want y'all to go back to where you came from, and I'm going to do everything in my power to kick y'all out. How did they hear anything different? And they voted for dude. So now y'all out protesting ICE. They not getting rid of ICE. They're not getting rid of ICE. Just think about it. And next time, excuse me, and next time, if we have another election, listen to what the candidate is saying. Listen to what the people surrounding the candidate are saying. Listen to the propaganda that they're putting out about you. Like, listen to Fox News. Listen to, what's those other OAN and is it News Nation, News Now? It's something like that. Listen to them. Listen to how they talk about you. Like Ice Cube said, or like, Ice Cube played in the song, No Vaseline, here's what they think about you. Then play a clip of Donald Trump talking about you. Here's what they think about you. Play a clip of some other conservative talking about you. Here's what they think about you. Play a clip of them talking about it's an invasion. Here's what they think about you. Listen to what they think about you. And then vote your interests. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry y'all going through this. Yeah, y'all brought it on yourselves. But I'm still sorry y'all going through it. But I'm not there to help you deal with a situation that you brought on yourself. I'm just not. Jeannie said, I wish they would mistakenly haul off Melania. They don't want to get rid of, I know y'all know this, they don't want to get rid of the white immigrants. White immigrants are good. Matter of fact, let's send them a plane and fly them in. Give them immediate citizenship. They're going to be good for the country. Why? They white. White farmers are so much better than Mexican farmers. White South African farmers? Oh, they'll be so much better for the society than those Mexican farmers. Nat says, first they came for them. You think they ain't coming after your black A2? Well, it's not just that. Because I still, if it's 50-50, half of y'all feel like this is what was needed. I would be on their side. I might even be out there protesting. Probably not. But I might even be out there protesting if they vote split was like 90-10. And they was giving hell to the 10. I might be out there with them like, yeah, I'm with y'all. But when your split is basically 50-50, 60-40, no. That means you need to suffer a little bit more to understand. See, look, I got some Latino friends. I've had Latino people over my house for dinner. I got some Latino friends. And some of them feel that same way. Remember I was talking about the Africans when they come over, and they come over with a different mindset. And for, a lot of people, they believe the propaganda that they hear about black people, and, black people are lazy, and black people don't want to do this, and black people are angry, and black people are this, and they believe that stuff. A lot of those Latinos believe that stuff. And they think we're different. We're different. We can come there, and we're not lazy. We'll do the job. We'll do the job that they won't do, and they'll treat us right, and it's this great life, and so they believe that stuff. Nat skewing those numbers. It wasn't 51 versus 36, according to the Associated Press exit polling. It was 55-43. Don't be trying to skew the numbers. And to me, that's basically 50-50. Don't be trying to skew the numbers, bro. But like with my African friends, once they get, into the society and get into those jobs, and then they start experiencing discrimination and racism and all of that kind of stuff, then they be like, well, wait a minute, these black people was kind of on to something. These black people was kind of on to something. And maybe now we're the black people that help us. Something about, what I'm saying, if you want friends, first you have to show yourself friendly. I can't say, look, I was out there when Oh, I'm so disappointed and disgusted with myself that I couldn't remember George Floyd's name right off. When George Floyd, I saw black people out. I saw a lot of white people out. I was shocked. I didn't see that many Latinos out there. I didn't see Latinos out there saying, hey, justice and this and that. I didn't see that. So you want us to be your friend. I'm sorry, you should have showed yourself friendly earlier. You should have been saying to us this whole time, I'm on your side. I'm on your side. I don't want to see injustice perpetrated against your people. So if you out protesting, I'm going to be out protesting. You want to, we voted to put ourselves in a situation, not paying no attention, and now we want y'all to show that y'all are our friends. Stop. No. You've had plenty of opportunities to show up en masse with us, but you didn't. You didn't, because it wasn't you. Hold on. A few people asked about the mic. It's not new, but it is the first time that I've used it on this show. I actually use this when I record vocals. I have 2 of these. How much did they cost? A lot. I'll just leave it at that. They cost a lot. But I just decided to pull this one out of the vocal booth and use it. That's it. I'm sure the other one would sound just as good if I had placed it here, but I had it just out of the shot because I didn't want a camera in the shot. And then I went and I was listening while I was away. I was listening and I was like, that audio could be better. All I had to do is bring the mic down. And since I'm bringing the mic down, I might as well just go ahead and put in one of the other 2 mics. And so that's it. That's the deal with the mic. But yeah, say, Jericho. Same with Asians. When people remember the Asian hate crime thing, I wasn't out there protesting with the Asians. I don't believe people should be violent against Asians. But again, if you want me to be a friend, you've had plenty of opportunity to show yourself friendly. All these protests that have broken out across the country when we see injustice towards black people, I don't see a lot of Latinos and a lot of Asians there. I just don't. Vernon says, so it sounds like what you're saying is the Hispanics are the reason Trump is in office. No, that's not what I'm saying. What part did apathetic blacks who didn't vote play in Trump's re-election? Again, you're trying to, for whatever reason, relitigate the election. He's elected, bro. He's elected. I'm not talking about the reason that he's elected. I'm talking about what me, pull from these numbers. And if your voting community's mindset is 50-50 on a guy who campaigns on, I'm sending all y'all asses back to Mexico. What I'm gonna do with that? Y'all got some stuff to deal with in-house. Y'all need to figure out when somebody say, I'm sending all y'all asses back to Mexico, together y'all need to come together and say, yeah, that's probably not a dude that's going to work in our best interests. He might do what he say he going to do if he get elected. So don't vote for that guy. But if y'all collectively can't come to that conclusion, y'all 50-50 on it, like, maybe, then hey, you get what you get. And then maybe next time somebody's saying, I'm sending all y'all asses back to Mexico. 90% of y'all be like, oh, don't vote for that dude. Remember last person who said they was sending us back to Mexico? He actually tried to do it. Don't vote for the dude that said we did. You hear me? Yo, essay. Don't vote for the dude that say he's sending us back to Mexico. No vote. No voto. I don't speak Spanish. Sorry. That's what I'm saying. Whether or not they the reason he got elected, that's not important here. He's elected. Stop trying to relitigate the election. Terrence says Asians are extremely colorist. But that's one, I don't have a lot of Asian friends. I have a few. I've had Asian people over my house for dinner, it's true. But I have a few, but I haven't really sat down and had, like I've done with my African friends and some of my Latino friends, like, we actually sit down and I ask them questions and they ask me questions and we have these conversations and we talk about, because look, I understand that my views aren't the views of Black Americans. It's just my views. But I talk to a lot of Black Americans. And so I could be like, some people think this and some people think that. Well, why do you think those people think that? Again, because I've talked to a lot of y'all. I can say, well, what it seems to me is that they feel this way because of this. Now, I don't agree with that. And I don't find that a strong majority of people agree with that. But that's why those people think that way. And, my Latino friends and my African friends, we can all do the same thing. Like, talking to my African friend, and he's like, a lot of Africans feel this way. Some Africans feel that way. And why do they feel that way? Well, I think they feel that way because of this. And I listen, and you get a lot of different perspectives. I've never done that with an Asian friend of mine. I've never done that with an Asian friend of mine. So I don't really know about the Asians. I don't really know about the Asians. I can't say. Is he not? Oh, hold on. Wait a minute. Let me open up the phones. Oh, I got a lot of stuff open here. Hold on. Let me close some stuff. And I was dealing with a difficult client today. I really was. She was lovely. I'm just calling her difficult for no reason whatsoever. I don't know why. Oh, let's see. All right, it's updating the phone app. Hopefully that static thing is fixed. We'll see after the first call. Usually you'll do a call and then the next call, unless the first call is like really long. All right, so the lines are open. 513-717-KING. 513-717-5464. The lines are open. Sorry about that. I hadn't opened them up. All right, there we go. CK.
Hey, man. Hey, I got on there first caller, man. I made it on there first caller, man.
All right, I can barely understand what you're saying, and you sound either inebriated or just straight up high.
Nah, I'm good, man. I'm just excited to be. What you call? Let me close the window. There you go. I'm excited to be the first caller back on your platform when you was gone all these. You know what I mean?
I'm excited to have you back.
Man, but look, your analysis, I was typing excellent analysis when you said the phones was open, so then I rushed to the call. Right? Because you won the fight before you even got in the ring. because I called Wyatt's show and I was saying black folks the most treachery, the most. I said I was naming a situation where, similar to yourself, a boycott of the NFL,
Okay.
and you see the words you used about you won't cross that line unless your demands.
Yes.
Well, Lord Jamar he went against all his words and went straight to the NFL Super Bowl. See what I'm saying? So, with your analogy with the Mexicans, brilliant, Livingston, brilliant. That is tremendous treachery, larceny, and betrayal. What is your thoughts?
I barely understand what you're saying. I mean, I barely understand the point that what are you asking me?
The level of your own people when you voting for a guy that said we gonna get you out of here.
Yes. Yes, that is. But again, I don't even really know how to articulate it well. I kind of blame them, but I don't blame them, which is why I said on this one, I think maybe they just need a little more suffering. Like some people, you're like, hey, they don't, they don't believe S stink, or, they don't miss their water until the well run dry. I don't know if that one applies, but it's certain times when you think one thing and then you have to experience it. And I just feel like this might be one of those things where, maybe they thought, hey, we're going to vote for this guy. He's just talking, but he's good with money. And so we're going to make more money and life is going to be great. And sure, he might deport some gang members, but I'm not a gang member. And so I'll be fine. And if you haven't experienced America like we've experienced America, you might think that. But they're experiencing America now. And so, they need to go through this. I mean, you know how it is. Sometimes you don't protect your kids. Sometimes you let them get themselves into situations and you watch them and then they learn. And so then the next time, I wouldn't let my kid touch the inside of a hot stove, because that'll burn their little skin off their hands. But I might let them touch the outside. Hot. Yeah, I kept telling you don't touch that. But then once you finally touch it and you say, hot. Okay, now you know. I don't have to tell you no more not to touch it. You know.
Learn today.
Don't touch that. Sometimes you have to deal with that and you have to go through it. And I think that's where they are right now. They just have to go through this suffering to learn next time. Don't vote for the dude that say he gonna get rid of the Mexicans, because he might.
So listen to what you're saying when you say most suffering. So you're saying the slavery and crack made us stronger as a people? That's more suffering.
I don't know that slavery and crack made us stronger as a people, but I think it definitely feeds into our mistrust of the system. And I think a lot of times that helps us deal with different things. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think you got some people, and I don't want to call nobody no name, so I'm going to try to be careful. But you have some people who relate to that struggle, and they like, ain't nowhere in the world I would vote for the clear racist in the race. Like, the clear, blatant racist in the race is not going to get my vote. Even if the other candidate is bad, the blatant racist is not going to get my vote, because we've seen American racism at work. So are we better for it? Maybe, I don't know. But we watching the whole thing kind of side-eyed, like, okay, let me see what's happening here. What did he say? Yeah, I done heard something like that before. I'm not voting for that dude. What did he do? Yeah, no, we seen that before. I don't know
No.
that that's what they've seen.
But Livingston, let me ask you this. I'm gonna get personal, very personal.
Uh-oh.
Let's say Jamar Chase himself gave you season tickets to the NFL, right?
Okay.
Next year, right? While this boycott going on, and it's public. You made it public, and you made your statements. For the most part, I mean, not for the most part, but me personally, I believe everything you're saying, right?
All right.
Now, let's say you attend, you miss the preseason, but then you go to the first game. I'm going to ask you, really, how would you feel about yourself if you did that?
Again, I'm not 100% sure that I understand the question, but I wouldn't go to a game. Even if he gave them to, like, here is tickets. Boom, I put them in your hand. Now you got them. I don't care what you do with them. I would give them to somebody who goes. I wouldn't go.
So please understand closely now. I know you're intelligent, you're smart. I'm just telling you that analogy because that is exactly what Lord Jamar did. And he went harder than you did against the NFL. And because you went hard against the NFL and you wanted your demands, Colin Kaepernick or a black owner. Am I right?
Right.
So none of that happens. You attend the game. Okay, this is what I'm just telling you, Lord Jamar. He is Emanuel Livingston. He did the same thing, but you are staying strong. See what I mean?
Well,
of your own,
hold on, but in all reality, he's got a right to change his mind. I don't intend on changing mine.
To the Minister Farrakhan Livingston, after he apologized to them after 5 years, sir. After 5 years, sir.
I'm not under. First, I don't know who Lord Jamar is. Second, I'm not 100% sure what you're trying to get at.
I'm trying to tell you the level of treachery that I'm saying. That's what we're dealing with. If you go to the game, you're standing by your words. You are being criticized for your actions. I've seen the comments. Am I lying?
Well, I have been.
Have you been criticized for boycotting the NFL?
I have been. I don't know that I'm actively being criticized, but I have been criticized in the past.
So I came into the day with a championship fight saying that level of treachery, Livingston going to the game, that he just, so I would think if you did that, you did not even believe nothing you ever said if you went to the game the first season. But you said you have the right to change your mind.
Yeah, everybody's got a right to change their minds.
So if you went to a game next year, do you think you believe what you were saying in the past?
Sure.
Without none of your demands being met?
Sure. Maybe I got some new information, or, over time as people, we change, and, maybe I just looked at it I had an experience that made me look at it from a different perspective or something like that. That's possible.
Interesting. But I just see the level of treachery when you said get your ass out the country, you, whatever, slang word, and they voted for him. So
yes.
I seen that's why I'm saying you showing level of treachery. I'm thinking blacks got the. I said, whoa, that's a little far what they doing. So you voting for a guy that's against you. That's
yes.
like if they put slavery on the poll and blacks overwhelmingly voted for slavery.
CK, I appreciate your call.
Thank you.
All right. No, I can I be honest? I genuinely believe, and I know this is crazy, I genuinely believe if they put slavery back on the ballot, like, they said, hey, we're going to go back to slavery how it was. So if you in this country and you black, we're going to enslave you. You're going to, chattel slavery. You're going to be a slave. And they put that on the ballot. I think probably about 8 to 10% of black people in America would vote for it. it would be them same 8 to 10% that voted for Trump. And I don't know why they would, just to be different. Like, y'all don't understand. It's slavery. That means we going to eat every day. You going to have a job. You know what I'm saying? They would have these crazy reasons why it would be okay to vote for it. And they would all be crazy to those of us who, think of ourselves as sane and who understand, that it would not be a positive thing for us. But 8 to 10%, my prediction, 8 to 10% of black people in America right now would vote yes. Yes. Put us back in slavery. Well, things were so much better when we was back in slavery. We didn't have to worry about who was doing stuff. We didn't have to worry about they would just. I genuinely believe that, and it makes me sad. Caller.
Hey, Emanuel Livingston, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing? I'm doing good, by the way.
Edsel Rothstein, glad to see you back. Did you acquire the proper level of atonement at your church function?
I was not attempting to acquire atonement. I was just attempting to manage the stage, and I did a great job.
Oh, okay. Well, you can do that from Zoom now. You know that, right?
No, you can't. No.
Oh, I mean, you could have had a Zoom meeting and say, "Hey, close the curtains."
Okay.
I'm just saying, you ain't have to leave us stinking for a week and a half.
I don't know that it worked. Maybe I'll try that next year.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Damn, you act like you was up there running the show singing or something. I just want to say that, contrary to the our eloquent host's opinion, I actually like military parades.
Okay.
I like letting the world know who he is and what it's going to be if you get out of pocket. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a great. You just don't like it because it's Trump.
No.
If Obama did it, you would be like, okay.
No, I wouldn't. Let me ask you this. What country would you say we should be afraid of?
Russia, North Korea, and China.
All right. And you believe that we should be afraid of Russia because you saw a military parade?
No, not afraid, but concerned. Keep a watchful eye on them.
Okay. You actually said afraid, but we just gonna change that. So your
question was afraid, and I wanted to. Yeah, as a U.S. we shouldn't be afraid of nobody.
Okay.
Anybody want to come out there and have a meat swinging contest? U.S. should jump in wholeheartedly.
Okay.
All I'm saying is
maybe
that the U.S. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Maybe I was mistaken. I thought you said afraid, which is the reason why I phrased the question that way. So you believe the only reason that you believe we should be concerned about Russia is because you've seen them have a military parade.
Well, and according to media reports from our media, their leader, what's his name, Putin, is rather unstable and irrational.
Here's why I'm asking the questions that I'm asking, because clearly, I've never seen a Russian military parade. Okay, I know I assume they have them. I haven't seen one, but I think because as it's reported to us, they have an active, strong military and nuclear weapons. There's somebody that you should take serious. Same with China. Again, I haven't seen a military parade from them, but I believe that we should probably take them serious. I don't understand the idea that a military parade, I think us going all over the country, blowing people up, is enough to make people take us serious. So I don't understand the need for a military parade.
I don't understand the need for a lot of parades. The gay parade, The Reds opening day parade. A lot of parades I don't understand, but while they're doing them, some of them I will participate in. Not the gay parade, but at least the damn Reds parade and a military parade. That'd be nice to see. You know, some real life tanks and stuff rolling down. You know, Southwest Pennsylvania Avenue, or wherever they showing them at. Like that. I think that, you know, other than just on TV, I think that's pretty cool to see.
Okay.
You know, that might make a young man who's you know, what do you call that? Vacillating between going to service and not. That might help him make a decision.
Okay. Maybe. I think it's foolish, but that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, for 20 years we've known you to be a cynic. Would you not agree?
I reject that. No, I'm a realist.
Ever since you've come into Cincinnati news and political lexicon and conscience, one thing for sure, two things for certain: Emanuel Livingston is a cynic.
Again, I don't know.
He doesn't like America.
Again, I don't know that I agree with that. I don't know that I'm a cynic. I think I'm a realist. And, you know, just again, for me, realistically speaking, it's kind of foolish. But I mean, you gave me a different perspective on it. Maybe there's some person, like you said, vacillating, and they might see a tank riding down the street and say, ooh, I want to drive one of those. People do actually do things like that. So you might have a point.
I mean, all the rappers talking about how they saw the drug dealers with the big flat cars, and they said, I want to sell dope like him.
Yeah.
Maybe you see somebody riding a tank, you know, or hoisting a Tomahawk's cruise missile in the air. They like, yeah, I want to let one of those go.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you know, it's just I have no problem with America showing off what America can do. Because in times like this, people think we weak. We just had two women. Two of the last three elections, we had women running for president. We got a foreigner, a complete foreigner, who was rubbing elbows with our president and mad because the president said that, you know, no, you can't be on these briefings. You know, and got mad. Now he's trying to say he a pedophile, this, that, and the other. I mean, it's like, wait a minute. I didn't vote for Trump this time, but at the same time, like, I don't appreciate a foreigner, you know, disrespecting our president. I do live here, and I'm not going anywhere. You understand?
Hold on, what foreigner are you talking about?
Musk. Musk said that the reason why there's no the Epstein files ain't come out because Trump's in them.
That's probably true.
It might be, but your punk ass ain't about to talk about my president, whether I voted him or not.
That's crazy talk to me.
I like my country. It ain't the best thing, it ain't the best. You know, I don't know who's the best. You know, there's some effed up stuff that happens here, but for the time being, I ain't going nowhere, and nobody in this audience is.
So you don't want people. So you don't want people to. Wait. So you don't want people to tell the truth about your country if the truth is negative?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
that's
I
foolish.
I want to hear from a foreigner.
Oh, that's foolish.
I know. It's not you. It's me. It's Edsel, not Emanuel. It's just my opinion.
All right.
You know, I have a problem. You know, when foreigners talking greasy about anything. You know, some people said they was going to behead Obama in the White House when he first got elected. You know, the Sand folks said they was going to behead him in the White House. All right, we just going to sit there and let people talk greasy about our president?
Well, there's a huge gap between we're going to behead the president in the White House and this dude who we have video and photos of him with Jeffrey Epstein, and we have him talking about how Jeffrey Epstein liked girls the same way he liked girls. That's a big difference between saying we're going to behead this dude and this dude might be in the Epstein files. Those are so different.
If you want to split hairs because you don't like the current
I don't
president,
know that is not splitting hairs.
I think it is. Being a foreigner, I don't want to hear from you talking greasy about the leader of my country,
So
whether I
if
voted for him or not.
so if
Do you want smoke or not?
so if the foreigner says that Trump said that he likes to grab women by the vagina, then you'd be mad about that.
Yes, I would.
That don't make
I
sense.
heard it from American media.
Because it's
Mind your
true.
business.
Because it's
Worry about
true.
worry about your president that
Yeah.
beheads people.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That kills people that vote against him. Worry about your president. We've got our own problems with ours. Yours ain't perfect either. Again, learn to love the one you're with. You got to deal with him. We've got to deal with Trump.
While
we got him, we
and
might
you
as well
love him.
find a way to love him and enjoy him. If you can't, then that's a you problem.
Yeah, that's a me problem. But look, again, I'm one of these people. You have every right to your opinions and your feelings, and you love Trump, and you got a right to love Trump.
No, I don't love him.
You
I clearly
just
said I didn't vote for him. but
Don't
he's my
matter. You
president,
just
so I'm gonna
said we gotta love
learn to
him.
love the one you're
He's
with.
our president, and we gotta love him. And I think you actually
I'm
said
gonna
you
embrace
love
the
him.
leader of my country because I like my country. I'm not loving him. I love my country.
You said okay. So now you're kind of altering your statement. You don't love him. You just kind of love him.
I love my country, not him.
Okay, that ain't what you said earlier,
Like
but
what
all
he
right.
said. There you go. So there's that cynicism again, twisting up words, trying to create narratives that
I
ain't
didn't
there.
twist. I'm gonna go back and listen because I could have swore you said you love him.
You
Because
was out
he's
for
your
too long,
president, you
forgot-
love him.
You forgot the protocol.
You said you got to learn to love him, and you've learned to love him because he's your president. I thought you said that.
I've learned to love the one I'm with because he is the president of my country.
That means you love him.
I'm not going anywhere.
That means you
So I
love
have to
him.
deal with it.
Don't be ashamed. Just you love him because he's the president. You love him.
Okay, fine. For lack of argument, yes,
Okay.
I love him. He's
All
the
right.
greatest white man that ever lived.
And you said that. I didn't. So okay.
Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? That's where I'm at with it.
Okay.
Open hearts. My hearts and hands are open like that God you like.
Okay.
You understand me?
I think I do.
Ain't that what that God that you like would say? Love everyone?
No.
Oh, he wouldn't say that. Oh, okay, my bad. I don't go to those. I don't go to those type of religious services, so I don't know what he would say.
Okay.
I don't generally listen to Kenny Loggins. But hey, Emanuel, it's always a pleasure. I'm glad you're back, and I look forward to talking to you again. And it was a strawberry moon last night. I'm a little tired. I was out doing wolf shit, but yeah, I'm recovering, and I'll be back at it tonight, rampaging as well.
All right.
Oh!
All right. Thank you for your call. That was Edsel. I still don't believe that man's name is Edsel. He can say what he want to say. I don't believe that man mama named him Edsel after no Kellogg dude. I just don't believe it. He can say what he want to say, and it might be true. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Oh, Shelly.
Hey, man.
Shelly, how are you?
Well, I'm ready for war. It's coming.
Oh.
You want to hear? I got a story for you.
Oh.
Around the year 2000, I worked in an apartment complex in Westchester, off of Mulhauser, called Meadow Ridge.
Okay.
Familiar with it?
I'm not familiar with it, but I'll take your word.
Remember around that time when Westwood got rid of all the Section 8 housing and gave people vouchers and moved them out of the county?
No, I really don't. I remember, when they kind of did that in Swift and Commons and everything, but I don't remember when they did it in Westwood. But again, I'll accept that it happened.
Okay, well, I was a leasing agent at Meadow Ridge. It was an income-restricted new build, right? And it was full of immigrants. I mean, from all over the globe, okay?
Okay.
And it was, weird. We're like, what the hell? Where are these people coming from? Well, they were having their rent paid. They were having their apartments furnished. They were having their fridges stocked, okay? Their church was bringing them. People don't realize, Butler County was built by immigrants, I mean, don't you think it's kind of weird? Like, white flight magically had all these brand new affordable housing to go to out in the farmland out there, just magically, like, available.
I don't know that it was magical. I mean, people with money build homes.
It wasn't people with money, though. These were, like, lower middle class neighborhoods being built. There were rich ones, too, but for the most part, it was, like, middle class.
Okay. Middle class people build homes.
Okay, well, people were imported to build it out there, okay, but these immigrants were being brought here. So this is older than Trump, number one, okay? It's like, you don't have a problem with that? Like, you're okay with them just bringing these immigrants here and paying for them and putting them up and letting them get ahead while everyone else suffers?
Well, I don't like the way that you characterize that, but so let me characterize it the way that I would like to. I am okay with people helping people who need help. And even if they're not born in this country, if people want to reach out to people who need help and put them in a position where they have the opportunity to kind of flourish, I'm for that, yes.
At the expense of Cincinnatians?
Well, how was it at the expense of Cincinnatians if, according to you, the church was paying for everything?
They were. I filled out the leases. I collected the rent. Like,
right. So then how was that at the expense of Cincinnatians?
Okay, well, the people that were moved out of Westwood and put out there, they weren't getting that kind of help. They weren't able to get ahead.
Okay, they moved. How do you, but then get mad at the church? I don't understand your anger. I don't understand what you're trying to say. Hold on. Let me try to understand it. All right? You correct me where I'm wrong. The church reached out and brought some people here and they footed the bill. And you're mad at the people who the church helped because the church didn't help Cincinnatians?
Yeah, because they didn't help our people, because we should put ourselves first, absolutely, before we start taking care of these immigrants.
Wait, so you're mad at the immigrants because of what the church did?
No, I'm not mad at the immigrants. My son's a child of an immigrant. I'm not mad at the immigrants. You don't realize what they were told before they got here. Okay, if they didn't have a bounty on their head, would the politicians even care about the immigrants?
What? Wait, no, ask the question again. I didn't understand the question.
Okay, there's money attached to these immigrants.
All right.
Okay, there are services and programs and blah, blah, blah that are directed at the underserved, the minorities, the refugees. There's money attached to them. If the money was gone, you really think these people, that they would be even an issue?
Well, you yourself said the church footed the bill. So, and the church brought them in. I'm not sure who are you, but who are you asking about? Are you asking, would the church care?
Who do you think owns the nonprofits, the churches?
Okay.
Right.
Some of them, sure.
Okay, well, did our taxes not go up? And property taxes went up in Hamilton County, right? They doubled. For service.
Wait, when? Double when?
Since 2021.
All right, but this is something that you said happened back in 2000, right?
I'm just giving you an example of something back then to say that this is like a thing going on for a long time, but now, in my opinion, it's out of control.
Oh. Okay.
You don't think so? So, would you just say, here, take our city, take our schools, take our money, and just screw everybody else?
No. I definitely wouldn't say that, but I would say, hey, welcome. And, you have the opportunity to pursue everything that I have the opportunity to pursue. Have at it. I would say that,
yes. If you break a law, do you get a pass?
Say that one more time.
If you break a law, do you get a pass?
Me personally?
Yeah.
I don't think so, no.
Okay, but you're okay with the immigrants getting a pass?
What pass do they get?
Okay, well, you can't take a license from someone that doesn't have one. They're not made to pay child support. They don't have to piss in cups. They get all these services and programs that everyone else has to jump through hoops for. They're getting housing that Americans aren't getting. They're getting us all kinds of stuff that we don't get. They're getting legal services. Like Cincinnati provided 600 immigrants.
Okay, wait, Shelley. Let's take them one at a time. All right. What is one thing that they're getting that Americans, people born in America, don't have access to?
What do you mean?
One thing that these immigrants that you're so concerned about, that they get, that Americans don't have access to.
Okay, well, you say it like I'm so concerned about it. So you're telling me if I'm...
No. Please don't. Just tell me the one thing. What's the just one thing? I'm sure there's a lot, but let's take them one at a time. One thing that immigrants have access to that Americans don't have access to.
Refugee resettlement money, social workers at JFS.
Wait. Hold on. Wait. See, people don't understand this, and I'm not aware of this refugee resettlement money. Explain that to me. See, I don't mind saying I don't know stuff that I don't know. So what is this refugee resettlement money?
Right. The federal HHS
All right.
gives states, the refugee resettlement money, and then the states distribute it to the counties, and then the counties oversee the programs.
And how do they get this money?
Grants.
No, I'm saying, okay, I just snuck over the border, all right? And I made my way to Cincinnati. And I want some refugee resettlement money. How do I get it, Shelley?
Well, you're going to know where to go through JFS.
How would I know where to go? So tell me, how do I get it? How do I get it?
Right, because it's all set up. Like there's video out there, people coming over the border. Like let's say somebody from Africa or Asia comes over the border. People are down there with cameras. They say, "Where are you going?" They say, "We're going to Cincinnati." They follow them to Cincinnati, and guess where they follow them to? The building on Reading and Seymour.
So once I go to JFS, what do I do to get the refugee resettlement money?
They're going to do it all for you. They're going to hook you up with a doctor. They're going to hook you up with a place to live. They're going to hook you up with the refugee resettlement money. They're going to hook you up with food stamps.
How much money do I get? Fine, just cash. How much cash do I get?
Well, it depends. I mean, you get a stipend. It depends on how many kids you have.
Wait,
blah, blah, blah.
Hold on. So is this, because this sounds to me, because you're saying it's something that people don't have access to. This sounds to me like if I'm a single mom and I'm homeless, I can go to JFS and they'll help me get housing. They'll help me get medical care. They'll help me get food. They'll help me get all of the stuff that you're saying that they're helping the illegal people get, right?
Well, that's the problem. No, that's not right.
No?
That's what you believe. No, it's not true.
Oh.
Because people aren't getting the help. Immigrants get
hold
the
on.
help.
Wait. I just want to make sure I understand this because I'm not out there right now. You're telling me that there is no American citizens that is getting housing vouchers or anything like that, right?
I didn't say zero. There were over 2,000 homeless Cincinnati public school students last year.
Well,
Over 2,000 homeless Cincinnati public school students.
but wait a minute. But that's not what we're talking about. You're trying to take us down an avenue that we're not on. You're saying that these illegal immigrants, as you're calling them, are getting things that American citizens don't have access to. So they don't get food stamps anymore, right? No American citizen is getting any food stamps.
Okay, so what are you trying to say? Like
what I'm suggesting, Shelley, here's what I'm suggesting. What I'm suggesting is that, sure, immigrants probably get housing assistance, but so do American citizens. What I'm suggesting is that immigrants probably get help getting food. So do some American citizens. What I'm suggesting is that immigrants probably get help, with health care and stuff like that. But so do American citizens. Like, I know some women who get housing assistance, and I'm sure there are men who do too, but I don't know them, or at least they don't tell me that. And there are women that I know who get housing assistance, who get food stamps, who get a medical card. I don't know if it's Medicaid or, whatever, or SNAP or whatever. They get a medical card for their kids. They get all of the assistance that you're saying that these illegal immigrants get and no Americans get. It's just for illegal immigrants. I know American citizens who get the same assistance. So it feels like you're mad because illegal immigrants get assistance. But you're passing this off as they're getting the assistance, but Americans can't get any assistance, when that's just not true.
Hold on a second.
Okay.
Going back 20 years when I was working at that apartment complex, we had elderly and disabled Americans that weren't getting help. They had to fight. They were getting screwed over, just like here. No, they do not have to go through the same hoops. They don't have the same stipulations that we all have here, us. They don't. They don't piss and test. They don't have to go through all the stupid shit that everyone else has to go through. No, they don't. They get everything with no questions asked.
Okay, let me ask you this. Wait, let me ask you this. So the illegal immigrant that you had a baby by,
he's not illegal.
You said he was illegal.
I said he was an immigrant. I didn't say he was illegal.
So the immigrant that you had a baby by, he gets all of this stuff, right?
No, he's college educated and has a career making good money.
Oh.
He was married to a Cincinnati public school teacher at one point. No.
So all the immigrants don't get it? Which immigrants get the good stuff?
I'm not talking about the good stuff. You're missing the point. I'm saying they don't have to deal with the same shit everybody else has to, and that's not right.
I'm not sure that what you're saying is true. That's what I'm saying to you. I'm not sure that what you're saying.
So you're gonna what? You're just gonna give the city over to immigrants?
Again, I think that's a nonsensical question.
If you had to choose to help an immigrant family or a black family over the ride, who are you going to choose?
Both.
You don't get to choose both.
Of course I do.
No, you don't. It's one or the other.
Nope, I get to choose both.
No, you don't.
Well, I did.
You won't.
I chose both. Sorry. I chose both. If I can help, I'm help them both. Try to put me in a nonsensical box. I hear a lot of people, and again, I'm just one of the people. I'm one of maybe the few people who's willing to admit, look, I don't know everything. I don't know everything. I don't know about the immigrant restoration recovery project or whatever she said, and I'm not saying it to be silly. I don't remember because I'm not aware of it. But I know that there are people, American citizens, black people, who are getting assistance. I might know one or two people who might have sold some food stamps to some people because they had a lot of food stamps and they actually said, no, I'm good. I don't need it. That's why I'm selling the food stamps. I got plenty of food for me and my kids, but I could use some extra cash. So, when my food stamp money gonna hit my card and I'm gonna be selling that because I got enough food at the house. That don't sound like people who can't get any assistance. Now, I'm not saying there aren't some people who probably need assistance who don't get it. I'm not saying that doesn't exist. I'm sure it does. Or who need assistance, but they have to jump through hoops to get it. I'm sure that exists too. But the whole notion of immigrants are taking everything from American citizens and they're taking over the city of Cincinnati. So we just turning over the city of Cincinnati to the immigrants and giving them everything. And the American citizens are getting nothing and they're dying homeless and hungry in the street only because the illegal immigrants have taken all the money and we don't have enough to help Americans. And that's just, but feels like propaganda. Feels like propaganda to me. And I'm going to be honest. I know me. Like, I know me and my family. And we be wasteful. Not wasteful, but wasteful. Like, and this is going to sound like I'm minimizing it. I was in Baltimore, went and got some crabs. The crab cakes was decent. I ate so much, I got full. So I put the remaining crab cake and I don't even remember what else was with it. But basically it was a whole meal. I put it in a to-go container and I took it back to the hotel and I put it in the little hotel refrigerator. And I thought when I get up in the morning, I'll go get some of these complimentary eggs down that don't really taste like real eggs, but they pass. I'm gonna go get some of these complimentary eggs and I'm gonna mix it with my crab cake and it's gonna be a nice breakfast meal. But then I got a little busy and then I was like, you know what? Them crab cakes been sitting in there for 2 days. I'm not gonna eat them 2-day-old crab cakes. And I threw them away. Emanuel, why did you just tell us that story? We Americans, we wasteful. So it's not like we don't have the resources to help more people. We waste probably more food in America than probably the whole world combined. The point I'm making is we have, if we manage it, the resources to help Americans and to help others. So the notion that you got to choose one or the other. No, you can't help both. You got to choose either to help illegal immigrants or help Americans. You can't choose both. So what you gonna do? What you gonna do? We can do both. We can do both. That's what I'm saying. I'm sorry. I don't buy into that. You can only do one or the other. No. Jericho said, I thought Shelly's son was by a black man. I don't be remembering these people's stories, but he could be a black immigrant. He could be a black immigrant. Now, I thought the child was by somebody who had some mental deficiencies. I don't know how to say it because I don't want to say the R word, but who had some, mental delay. I don't know. Somebody help me. What's the right word? I could have swore she said that her kid was by a person with some mental deficiencies. But I could be wrong. I could be remembering that wrong. But who was mentally challenged. Okay, yes. I thought she said that her baby daddy was mentally challenged. Had a mental disorder. I could have swore. I could have swore that's what she said. I could have swore it. Oh, and now y'all got me laughing about the insemination process. That is so not funny. Oh, but yes, apparently, if I remember correctly, she had relations with someone who had some developmental disabilities. Oh, that is terrible. Oh, that's terrible. All right, y'all. I'm trying to think, was it something else that I wanted to talk about? Oh, yes, she did say that. And she was involved with Child Protective Services. Yes, that's what I remember. That's what I remember. Oh. But I remember stuff wrong sometimes. So what did we learn today? What did we learn today? Well, we learned that Fame or Edsel loves Trump. And I did learn this, and I genuinely did learn this. I did learn there might be some benefit in a military parade. It might be. I still think it's stupid, but it might be. Hopefully we learn that Latinos need to go through this struggle so that they make better decisions next time. And that it might not be our place to get out there and help them. I'm pretty sure we learned some other stuff. I can't think of it. Did you watch the BET Awards? No, I was getting ready for I don't even know what date it was. Either I was getting ready for the show or working on the recovery from the show. So no, I did not watch the BET Awards. Were they good? Were they good? Did Shelly say her baby daddy is special needs? I think at one point, yes, she did. But now he's college educated and married to a teacher, which I didn't know that was a flex. I didn't know that, and she said it like, no, he's college educated and at one point, he was married to a CPS teacher. Like, I was supposed to be like, for real, a CPS teacher? Damn, how he poor her. Oh, Shelly's calling back. Should I take Shelly back? Just to find out. Hold on. Shelly?
Hey, can I set the record straight, please?
Yes, please.
My son's father is a black man. He's from the islands. He came here as a child with his mother. He went to college. He works in healthcare. He was married before we got together, and he was married to a teacher that worked at Cincinnati Public. My son is special needs. He has an incurable, deadly disease called Prader-Willi syndrome. Okay? So he is special needs. It's very medically complex. It's not inherited. It's just a fluke.
Does the baby daddy, his father, take care of him?
Yeah. I'm a homeowner. I'm a nurse. Like, so that's it. I worked in the hospital in an emergency room, and that's where I met his father.
Are you guys on good terms?
Well, we're fine.
We're
having a baby that's sick is devastating. It rips a lot of couples apart.
Is he an active participant in his child's life?
I mean, He's a dad. He does what he's supposed to do, and that's what matters. We're fine. He's remarried. He has another son. I never remarried. You know, I had my son. Just chose to not have any more kids, to focus on my son. You know, my son was not an accident. I was 26. He was 32. We both had our degrees and careers. He has no criminal record. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So you can joke all you want, but honestly, yeah, shit does piss me off because my son is entitled to services and programs that he doesn't get. And he went to Academy of World Languages, right, where there's kids from all over the world there.
Shelly, is it
Yeah.
possible that he doesn't get them because you and his dad make so much money that maybe the state is looking at you guys and saying, y'all need to chip in a little more?
No, I had cancer in 2012, and I've been on disability since 2014. Okay, so we don't live off that much. We live off of less than $45,000 a year, which still is too much for food stamps. But the way it works with DDS, right? They have Medicaid waivers for kids with disabilities. It is not income based. You can make $200,000 a year, and your child still gets Medicaid for disabled children and these waivers.
And does your child get Medicaid?
Medicaid for the disabled, but he also has his father's insurance.
So I'm confused. If he's getting Medicaid, why are you saying that American citizens don't get medical coverage?
Because I had to take my son to Texas for medical care, okay? Here's the thing. I went all the way to the top of Hamilton County DDS. Alice Pavey, remember her?
I know.
These waivers, okay, they're Medicaid waivers for disabled children. They can be up to, $65,000 a year. We don't access that money, so I did the math. How many kids in Hamilton County have this waiver? And if they're not using it, how much is not being used? And what happens to it? For 2 years, I fought to get to the top and meet with Alice Pavey. They took me to a back room with no windows, let me look at the paperwork. I couldn't leave with the paperwork. I saw the numbers. Over $200 million a year, just like with the veteran services, is not being spent on the mandatory services.
Okay.
It gets redistributed into the general fund.
Uh-huh.
And the county commissioners and Frank Alludo, okay, who's the deep state, they redistribute this money to nonprofits.
But your son, according to you, is covered. His medical is covered.
Just because, what's that mean? My son's 18. I'm 45 years old. Like, you're not going to teach me anything. Just because someone has Medicaid doesn't mean the services exist.
Wait a minute. Wait. Oh, so you're really confusing me because your main gripe today was that immigrants are getting services that citizens aren't getting, but your son was getting all along.
What services? He's never gotten services. We've never accessed that waiver for anything. He goes to camp outside of Hamilton County. He's had to go out of state for medical care.
But he's had access to the services, whether or not you use them.
Class action lawsuits. That's what you keep saying that. But
You said it.
I did not say it. I said they're supposed to provide mandatory services, but they're not being provided.
Shelly, did you say that your son had a Medicaid waiver for his disability? You said that, right?
It doesn't get used.
But it doesn't get used
because
you choose to not use it.
That's not true. I asked to use it for electric scooter. They said no. I asked to use it for transportation. They said no. I asked to use it for locks. They said no. I asked to use it for lots of things, and they say no. That's why there's a class action lawsuit, and that's why Hamilton County's been investigated, because they're not providing the services they're supposed to be providing. That's part of the problem.
And the child's father is not helping with these services?
What do you mean by services? What do you think services are?
Well, why didn't the child's father help with the locks?
He did, but I'm saying the whole point is where the money that's supposed to be used for services is not providing services to families. So the money's getting redistributed to the general fund and used on other stuff.
Shelly, it sounds to me like your son has everything he needs.
He did, yeah. I provided everything he needed, but my point is, it doesn't give the government a pass to misappropriate the money that they collect from taxpayers. That doesn't mean it's okay. But I mean, you don't understand. I've been doing this for a long time. Okay,
Clearly, 18
it's not
years.
just about my son. It's about the elderly. It's about everybody.
All right.
Okay, so does that set the record straight?
If you say so, I'm still confused, but all right.
But people don't understand they don't know what services are. The word just gets thrown around and nobody really listens or cares to know, like, what does that mean? They're not
All
being
right.
provided. It's not just me, okay? It's not just me.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Don't diss my son, man.
I don't know your son. If anything, I'm dissing you.
Okay, well, that's fine.
All right.
All right.
All right. I still don't know I don't understand the complaint. I really don't understand the complaint. My son had everything that he needed. He had Medicaid, which early on she was saying nobody's getting except for immigrants. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. But she did clear up the husband was not the special needs thing, which I thought he was. So thank you for clearing that up. Janice, I'm completely lost too. Janice says, why weren't the services available to her? I'm completely lost. Yeah, I am too. All right, y'all. I had to get out of here. Black Lion, I just have to be honest with people. And I don't know exactly how, insurance, because insurances work kind of crazy. Because she said he's got the Medicaid, but he's also on his dad's insurance. So it's possible that, I'm certain the state is looking at it like, okay, this is what he's eligible for under his dad's insurance. This is what we cover. We're not going to double services. And maybe that's right. Maybe that's wrong. But I know they do stuff like that. Like, oh, you say you want a wheelchair? Let me look at his daddy insurance. Yeah, his daddy's insurance covered the wheelchair. So put in a claim with his daddy's insurance. We're not going to do the wheelchair because he can get that through his daddy's insurance. Well, but he's got Medicaid. You guys should be the ones doing it. And I don't know about that. Just, look at his daddy's insurance. Like we trying to cover the gaps, but again, I could be wrong. Luckily, I've never had the experience of having a special needs child to be able to get that deep into the system to be like, no, this is exactly the way it works. So she could be right. For all I know. But Mary says if the parent make a penny too much, you can't get the help you need. And a lot of times, that I've heard of a lot. Be like, no, but we got the medical card. That's the way we, when I was kind of coming up and knowing people, even as an adult, like, we got the medical card. And we're Medicaid. Most people that I know don't say that. We got the medical card. And they think, I got the medical card. I mean, everything is covered and everything is free. I don't know if that's the way it worked, though. I don't know if that's the way it worked. You got to stay on till 10 to make up for the hours from yesterday. Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. That is not going to happen. Nope, not going to happen. And yes, they take into account the income of the caretakers regarding services. That's the way I've always understood it to be. And if you know, like, oh no, he went to Texas for something. Why'd he go to Texas? Maybe the daddy live in Texas. I don't know. I wish him the best. I wish them the best. But with all of that said, what do any of that have to do with immigrants? Why are you mad at immigrants getting services? That's what I don't get. Like all of y'all, you know, because I get the immigration is an issue. It is an issue. I don't understand, though, the immigrant hate. That's the part that I don't get, is the immigrant hate. Like, we want the immigrants to not come here. That I get. I don't think it's reasonable. I don't think it's reasonable. I mean, even when you think about it, even on a small scale, again, another example that seems like I'm minimizing, but I'm trying to illustrate a principle. If you close to downtown and you found out gas was $1.50 cheaper in Kentucky per gallon, wouldn't you cross the border and go to Kentucky? Of course, there's no, you know what I'm saying, immigration there. I get it. But my point is, if you're in a situation and you can see a better situation, most people go to the better situation. I'm poor. I'm broke. I can't feed my kids. Gangs are out of control. But if I can just get there, my family can have a better life. Again, you would cross a border for gas that's $1.50 cheaper a gallon. I would. So I'm saying that to say you can see where you are and your situation, and if you see a better situation, you'll go for it. And it ain't life and death. But then we get mad at humans who see a better situation and go for it. Why are they coming over here? They got minutes coming over here. They need to stay in their own country. Please. If the situation was reversed, you would leave America as quickly as you could. Hell with the consequences. Hell with the consequences. So I don't understand the immigrant hate. And then what? We want them to not come, but they coming. Then once they get here, we want to just be like, just let them die in the street. We want them to go to JFS and be like, you know, hey, yo, I'm here and I don't have no job. I'm hungry. I ain't got nowhere to live. I need some help. And just be like, nah, I should have kept your ass in Mexico. I don't know what to tell you. We got Americans to help. And just watch them die in the street and be like, you know, look, that's Julio. He came over here 2 weeks ago. He couldn't get no help. He died in the street. Good. Like, come on. If they get here, just as humans, if we can help them, we should help them. Are people taking advantage? Probably. probably there are non-for-profit organizations who are taking advantage. Don't be mad at the immigrants for that. Be mad at the non-for-profit organizations. They get housing that we don't have. Be mad at the people who are denying you access to housing. Don't be mad at the immigrants. You're getting jobs that we're not getting. Be mad at the people who are denying you access to jobs. Don't be mad at the immigrants. Man, if America go downhill like Donald Trump is trying to take it, and I got to go to Canada, I'm not going to want to go to Canada. It'd be cold. But I'll deal with the cold. Me and that little girl and Mrs. Livingston and that little baby, I'm smuggling us into Canada. We getting there. And if I got to make snowballs for a living, then I'll be making snowballs for a living. When nobody else makes snowballs, I make snowballs. Nobody else make igloos, I make igloos. It don't be that cold in Canada, but you know what I'm saying. I do the jobs that nobody else want to do. Then the Canadians will be like, hey, got to get out of here, hey. And I'll be like, I'm just trying to make a life for my family. You seen what America is like lately? We can't stay there. They try to put us back in slavery. I'm not trying to go back in slavery. So I had to come to Canada. They are slapping chains on brothers and sisters. Not me and mine. We going to Canada. I'm working at the snowball factory. Just making snowballs every day, just packing snow. Hey, somebody got to do it. You know what I'm saying? You need these snowballs. Little baby go to college. Hopefully, you know what I'm saying, you can make a better life for yourself. You know, I just need to make sure my family is safe and not slaves, you know. Put the snowballs on the conveyor belt. How you doing? My hands hurt. They cold. Oh, I see why nobody want to do this job, but we up here in Canada got to make the snowballs. That's what we doing. Everybody gonna be mad at me. He's getting benefits that nobody else is getting. What? I live in this little half of a apartment with me and my wife and her mama and her brother and my daughter and my granddaughter, and I make snowballs for a living. Why you hate me? Why do you hate me? The church brought him in, and the church paid for his housing. The church gave him food. The church, thank you, church. Praise the Lord. And when I get a chance, I'm sneaking my brothers and my sisters and my nieces and my nephews and my cousins and my aunts. If I get a chance, I'm sneaking all of them up here. We running from slavery. Why do they have slavery again in America? Because 10% of black people voted to reinstate slavery. Just don't hate me. So yeah, I don't understand the immigrant hate. I understand the concern. I don't understand the hate. All right, y'all. That's about it. I gotta get ready to get out of here. All hearts and minds are clear. Anybody got anything else? 513-717-KING. 513-717-5464. If you'd like to get on board. Giving it just a couple minutes. Let people get any questions or comments out. Any questions, any comments? I don't think he's here anymore. Scott Bivens in the house. Sorry I didn't get a chance to shout you out. Ken says he would love to move to a Caribbean country and come back for medical attention. Hey, look, they got people who do that, man. I don't know about Caribbean. Yeah, I'm sure they do. You can like your retirement dollars, they say, will stretch much further. And there are people who, that's what they do. They keep their doctor. They keep their insurance. And they live cheaply. I don't know if that's, Janice, is that correct? They live cheaply overseas, Caribbean countries, like Thailand. I'm saying Caribbean countries, and in places like Thailand and, those other, Asian Pacific countries and whatnot. And they live there because the cost of living is really low, supposedly, allegedly. So they live there and they just come back for their doctor's appointments and, to see their family. There are people who actually do that. Talk about the importance of Father's Day this Sunday. I don't know. I might not be the best person to talk about the importance of Father's Day. I believe fathers are important. I don't know that Father's Day or Mother's Day or even birthdays and all that kind of stuff. I don't necessarily know. I'm sorry. I keep bumping this thing because I'm not used to it being here. I don't know that any of those days are all that important. But fathers are very important. Fathers are very important. They're not, I think we live in a country now, or, in a time now, in a culture where the importance of fatherhood is extremely diminished. All the women that you hear, and I don't really blame the women, but all of the women that you hear, talking about they the mama and the daddy, they don't need no man, all that kind of stuff. I think that undermines the importance of fathers. And of course, all of the men not taking care of their kids. But y'all know I blame the men and the women for that. I blame the men and the women. Don't choose to make a kid with a man that's not going to take care of his kid. No, my hand keeps hitting it. The mic ain't bumping me, but my hand keeps hitting it. Sorry, let me do that repeatedly. My mouth has not bumped the mic, but my hand keeps hitting it. But no, I really do believe we got to figure out a way to change that narrative. We got to figure out a way. Number one, men stop making babies and not taking care of them. But at the same time, there are some bad people just out there. There are bad men all over the place. And for whatever reason, a lot of y'all women keep choosing those. Quit choosing the type of man that will not take care of his kids. Janice, I talked about the man first. The man needs to stop having kids and not taking care of them. But women, y'all got to begin to peep that out. Like, that's the type of dude that'll have a kid and not take care of it. No, you can't have no cookies. Yes, it is 6:37 actually on Thursday, June 12th. Al Johnson says 1996, working at John Morrell, the first illegal aliens arrived, 2 started, then the floodgates opened. Yes. I remember that. I remember that well. But now, fathers are very, very important. Respecting fathers, giving fathers the opportunity to be fathers. What does that mean? What do you mean giving fathers the opportunity to be fathers? What does that mean? It means just that. First, don't have a kid with nobody if you're not married. Men, don't be out there sticking it until you get married. I know that's not reasonable to believe that that's going to happen in 2025, but that's what we should be teaching. Use protection. I was about to say wear a condom, but use protection. Everybody ain't gonna do that. So it really does come down to men, if you have a child. I'm pausing because you gotta know it's your child. And there's some scandalous women out here who be lying about who the baby daddy is. Because they be having sex with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 men. But once you know it's yours, like get that DNA test. Once you know it's yours, take care of your child. But again, I had to keep going back to it, Janice. I'm sorry, because it's just the truth. Women, stop picking those terrible, not gonna take care of his children men. Stop. Well, how you know he not gonna? Okay, one thing you know is he got 3 and he don't take care of none of them. Don't give him number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7 to not take care of. He ain't taking care of the ones that's already here. Be really, really skeptical that he gonna take care of yours. Like, I would be like, I'm not a woman, but I would be like, look, I like you and all, and you want the cookies, and I want to give you the cookies, but a baby could happen. I see how you take care of yours that are already here. You don't. So I don't trust you to take care of any that we make. So you don't get no cookies until you've created a habit of being a positive, steady influence in your children that are already alive in their lives. Bam. If every woman did that, say, what? I can't get the draws till I begin to consistently take care of my kids and in a positive way. I better start taking care of my kids consistently and be a positive influence in their life. I better start doing that because I definitely want some draws. Mary, I know. They don't think about babies, only pleasure. I know. But I'm just saying it because, I don't know, I feel like it should be said. Excuse me. Ibadathia said, women, stop keeping fathers away from our children because you're mad and talking bad about fathers to our children. That should definitely not happen. The way that I feel about it, I'm not against telling the truth. Okay? I'm not against telling the truth. But not necessarily for talking bad. And I know it could be a fine line, right? It could be a fine line. Like, why didn't my daddy come and pick me up? Or where's my daddy? Said he was going to come and pick me up. You don't have to be like, your daddy ain't S. Told you he wasn't going to come and pick you up. He ain't this. You could be like, he said he was going to pick you up. He didn't show up. Do you want to do something else? Well, why didn't he show up? That's something that you'll have to ask him. I don't know why. I'm not going to lie for him. But I'm not going to call him a piece of ass and all that kind of stuff. Let the kids figure it out. Just be honest. You can be honest. And I don't perceive being honest as talking bad. The kid know that the daddy said he was going to be here. The kid know the daddy ain't there. You don't have to rub it in. You can just... He said he was going to come. He didn't come. What we going to do now? That's harsh. But I agree. You don't necessarily have to talk bad about the kid. About the daddy. Even if he's a bad dad. Just let the kids see the truth. And some women do be keeping their kids away from their daddy because they mad. It does happen. This Father's Day is going to be some daddy. And y'all know this is my, I done told y'all this story. I'm not going to tell the story. But this Father's Day is going to be some daddy that wholeheartedly believe and is looking forward to spending this time with his child. And some trifling mama is going to take that kid on a trip just so that they can't spend that time with their daddy. That's the kind of stuff. That's the kind of stuff that's terrible. We planned this trip 6 months ago. You didn't know 6 months ago the Father's Day was this weekend? You planned this trip specifically to keep my child from me on Father's Day, which is horrible. It's going to exist. It's going to happen somewhere. So I was supposed to be talking about the importance of Father's Day. But again, I don't know that I can talk about the importance of Father's Day because I don't necessarily, and I know that sounds like the opposite of kind of what I just said. I think just love and respect fathers. Fathers, take care of your kids. Mothers and children, respect the fathers. And if you get him some underwear or a t-shirt, he'll probably be cool with it. Because most of the fathers that I know don't really want nothing. Don't really want nothing. We just want to be good fathers. And if you even a call to say Happy Father's Day is enough. But, getting something, that's cool. It feels nice. It's not necessary, though. Brent said no ties. Well, I definitely don't give me a tie. I'm not a tie wearer. But who can use some new T-shirts or something like that. Brent.
Oh, hey, what's going on, E-Man?
Hey, how you doing, sir?
I'm all right. I don't know if it's going to connect or not. Can you still hear me?
You were breaking up.
Okay, let me take you off of this Bluetooth. It connected accidentally. Let's try that. All right. Is that better?
I sound a little better.
Well, I don't know why.
I
Hold on, because the Bluetooth. Hold on. Okay. All right. How about now? And my apologies.
Let's see. Okay, I didn't hear myself again.
All right. Everything good now?
Everything seems to be okay.
Okay. I don't want no draws for Father's Day. I don't want no macaroni art. I don't want no belts, no ties. You have 360 plus days of year that you can get me stuff like that. Get me something I want. So, no, we're not having any of that. I told folks on Lincoln's show, gave a PSA to the ladies, if nothing else, put something on a bill. I got bills. So, put, 15, 25, or a little cash. I'll do some cash. But
I'll be
no,
honest. My daughter asks me every year, what do you want for Father's Day? And I usually just tell her, give me some T-shirts, something like that. And the reason I do, because I don't need nothing from her. But I know she want to give me something, but I don't need nothing from her. I don't want to take nothing from her and her household.
Yeah.
Just give me some T-shirts.
There you go. But it's about wants, not needs. So I told my sons that I wanted a Jacob Fatu T-shirt for Father's Day. And
Okay.
they better deliver, or there's going to be hell to pay come this Sunday. But I tell them, well, they know me by now that, hey, you can't go wrong with, some sort of silly T-shirt or something like that, or getting us a Transformer. I'm still a big kid. I got a little collection. Get me a Transformer that is reasonably priced. I don't want to take nothing from her and her household. What's happened there? Uh-oh. Are you still there?
I'm still here. Something happened.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there either. But yeah. So, it's, for me, Father's Day, laid back, got my sons with me. My wife, she doesn't have to do anything. Now that the boys are old enough, I'm like, look, you ain't got to do nothing for me for Father's Day. They ain't got to do nothing. Well, I ain't doing nothing for you for Mother's Day. I'm not your mama. My mama up in Illinois. So we got an agreement on that. So
Okay.
So from that standpoint, and man, I missed the notifications. I thought I was checking to see if you were on Facebook Live, but
I didn't come on until probably around 4:30ish or something like that.
Okay. But and I was in the middle of meetings too, so I wouldn't have been able to check like I normally am, but meetings that I was directed, so I couldn't be distracted. But what I missed, I heard that Shelly called in.
Shelly did call in. She cleared some stuff up.
Okay. Did she discuss what Sheriff's father, or what Sheriff is going to do for his father for Father's Day?
She did not. She did not. I didn't even think about it. I didn't ask her.
Yeah. Well, next time, put Sheriff on the phone, because it'd be interesting to hear the story behind the father, because some of us have suspected that Sheriff's father is black.
She cleared that up. She said he is black from the islands. She said he's an immigrant from the islands. He was, came here with his mother as a child. He's got a college degree and some other stuff. Yeah, she gave us the whole rundown, more than what we needed.
He ain't from the islands. She didn't want to say he was an actual African American black dude, because that's how they do sometimes. But oh well, we'll just have to take her word.
Hold on. Some people are saying, I'm pretty sure, Steban, he meant Transformer.
Transformers more than meets the eye. The robots that change to vehicles. That Transformer.
Or airplanes.
Huh?
Or airplanes.
Or airplane, or insect, or there's a bunch of them.
Dinosaurs, all that good stuff.
Yep. So that type of Transformer is not Transveta Transformer. That's a different kind, different context. No, not in the slightest. But and I have any notifications. I don't have my notes all together, and I don't know if LaDonna is on, so I feel sort of guilty for going directly into the wrestling report. We have, it was Money in the Bank, and then we had eventful stuff on Monday Night Raw.
Which I missed both of those.
What?
Working, man. I was working.
Okay. Now, so you were at the is this another like Gospel Fest?
Gospel Superfest, yes.
Okay, so how many? How's the best way to put this? How many men was singing with their head back and their tongue sticking out, trying to do that vibrato? I'm guessing it was at least a minimum of 4.
I don't know that I saw any. They do shake that jaw a lot, which I never understood why they do that. But they do that a lot. But I don't know about the tongue out and whatnot.
Okay, because that's typically at events like that. Did you shake hands with any of the male gospel artists?
Sure, absolutely.
Was it a nice firm handshake or like a wet fish handshake?
It was every male gospel artist that I shook hands with was a nice firm handshake.
Okay. All right. That's good. I have some friends that are musicians, and they met a couple of the well-known stars and went to shake their hand. It was like, yeah.
Yeah, there are some, but they weren't there.
Yeah. Make one, straighten that wrist, make that wrist firm and give me a firm handshake, not none of that, charmed handshake, like you shaking hands with a woman.
Yes.
But yeah, I had another tangent I was going to go off on, but we'll go back to wrestling. Oh, did you watch the BET Music Awards? One more tangent.
No, I was working.
Okay. Well, I didn't watch it either, but I saw some clips where, what was it, Kevin Hart called out Kirk Franklin. To where he told Kirk Franklin, I guess he got an award or something like that, and he told Kirk Franklin, don't come up on here on stage, doing front twerking. Don't be popping that penis for Christ. He said that ain't Christian. Don't come up there doing it. And Kirk Franklin looked to be befuddled, and then he was like, oh, that's what he's saying, and then he's gonna get embarrassed. But he should be embarrassed all that dancing he do up there.
All I saw of the BET Awards, I saw a little clip of Kevin Hart, and he was talking about Kanye West. And somehow tying that into the movie Sinners. And I just saw that little clip, and I thought, this guy is not funny. But that's it.
Yeah. But they had the censors out because he didn't say, penis. He said the D word and everything. But they allowed him to say shiggity and didn't bleep that out. And I'm like, what? Okay. Well.
I keep telling y'all, you can say that word now.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, it just seems like they could have kept that one in there, but oh well. But yeah, but it was so funny because he was embarrassed, and he should have been, and his wife was embarrassed. I think that was his wife next to him. But yeah. But back to the Money in the Bank. So we got the women's Money in the Bank winner was, oh goodness, who was it? I can't remember anymore. But the men's Money in the Bank was Seth freaking Rollins, which it really doesn't make any sense to make him the men's Money in the Bank winner because he's already in the main event picture, because traditionally that's been used to elevate the next wrestler that's coming up to that main event status. So That was a little.
They say Triple H doesn't like the whole concept of the Money in the Bank. So, I imagine, he'll just use it as a quick device, quick storytelling device and get rid of it real quick. So have him cash it in real quick and then move on from it.
Mm-hmm. But the main event, which was Cody Raheem Devon Rhodes, and who was his tag team partner? Man, I can't think of. Oh, it was a main event. The champion main event, Jey Uso. We'll get to that on Monday. Against John Cena and who was? See, I don't have my notes, so I can't remember who it was. But essentially, what the match ended with somebody coming from the audience and attacking John Cena. And who was it? It was R-Truth, who had recently been let go from the company.
Yes.
So as soon as he came in the ring, I'm like, oh, that's R-Truth. They done brought him back that quickly. Ooh, the backlash must have been swift.
Yeah.
So I was surprised John Cena got beat that easily, because it really wasn't much of nothing but 1, 2, 3, and there you go. But going into Monday night, just two quick things from there is that R-Truth came out there, and he is no longer R-Truth. He is now Ron Killings, his original name, and he finally cut off them dreadlocks to where he was looking like, Stevie Wonder when he had them braids.
Yeah.
So, hopefully he'll just go with the low cut, and, maybe they'll allow him to be just a regular black man instead of a, R-Truth. He do be doing a little shucking and jiving.
Yes, he does.
So he's problematic, but, hopefully this will give him a push, and he can, do a little something with it, at least get the, one of the mid-card titles and be good there. But the main event was, I was surprised that you have a new world champion, and Gunther is champion again. I thought they would at least give Jey Uso a run until SummerSlam.
Well, I'm hearing that he might be injured.
Okay. And he has them two words, and yeet, which is
yeah.
I still don't know what that means. But oh well. But yeah, so that's all I had from off the top of my head. I don't think there was anything else. Oh, one other thing, AEW All In, their big pay-per-view is supposed to be down here in Dallas, at the stadium next to the Jerry's World. Don't know the name of the stadium. Oh, it's at the Rangers where they play. They have an indoor stadium.
Okay.
But they allegedly have a package that will get you 5 premium floor seats in the first 5 rows. You get to keep the chair. You get a ticket, 5 tickets to the ROH event that they have, like on that Saturday or Friday night, plus some merch, all for like $1,300, which is a steal considering this is their WrestleMania.
Right.
Their version of WrestleMania. And one thing that AEW has been known to have are long pay-per-views. So you'll be getting your money's worth. You won't get a 4-match Saturday night's main event like you do with WWE. And those, I can imagine. Well, goodness, I remember seeing the tickets for WrestleMania, and you were talking about $5,000 for, goodness, even like row 10 for them seats, which is crazy. So we'll see with now that TKO is in there. They continue to raise those prices up higher and higher and higher, and they're pricing people out. And now they're going to have WrestleMania back in Los Angeles again. They took it away from New Orleans and going back out there. So
Las Vegas, you mean?
Yeah, Las Vegas. You're right. So, I don't know. They're just pricing out higher and higher. Even when they were there, I found those tickets for you that were $500 or NXT, which is crazy. But yeah, but that's all I got. I'm rambling here. So
all right,
good to have you back.
Good to be back.
Hopefully the Chevette didn't break down too many times along the way.
Yeah, I think we ended up okay.
All right, that's good. All right. You have a good weekend because you're probably not going to be on tomorrow.
All right, Brent. I appreciate your call. I fully intend on being here tomorrow. There are still just a couple of things that need to be wrapped up. And if those things get wrapped up, I'll be here tomorrow at close to 3:00. Now, if they don't get wrapped up, got to do what I got to do. But next week, I should be back on my normal schedule, whatever that looks like. All right. Hold on. Now, somebody asked me something that I saw. Do gospel artists like adult entertainment? Why wouldn't they? I mean, I'm sure that they try to refrain, because it's frowned upon. But they just people. People who believe in God and believe in Jesus and all of that kind of stuff. They are just people. They get erections. You know what I'm saying? The women get all moist. They just people. So they like the same stuff that you like, in terms of that. People who like God and Jesus and all that stuff, they still feel everything that you feel. So, yeah, they are tempted to watch adult entertainment and listen to adult entertainment and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, all of that. They are just people. Mary says, what word can they say now? Shit. You can say that on the air. It's the FCC changed that a few years back. Now, I don't say it because, I don't cuss. But you can say that word on the air. They changed it. Let me see. Was that it? Was there anything? I saw Nate on there. Nate was asking about the endorsements. I haven't seen the endorsements. I did hear Lincoln talk about it just a little bit. But I haven't seen the endorsements. I guess the Democrats endorsed 9. I know Mika Owens was one, and her guy. For whatever reason, I always have a problem remembering his name. I can see his face, but I always have a problem. Daggone it. Sorry about that. But I always have a problem remembering his name. Somebody put his name up because I can't remember. But they endorsed him as well, along with a full slate, 9 people. Apparently, there was some discussion about endorsing 10, which didn't make sense. I heard Mr. Ware saying he doesn't like that they endorse 9. I think that's only reasonable. Evan Nolan. Thank you. Evan Nolan. I think it's only reasonable that they endorse 9. You got 9 seats. You want to fill it up with your people. But what about other people? That's not their concern. Their concern is getting their people. I mean, if I'm the chair of the Democratic Party, I want all 9 seats. I don't want 6 and then give somebody else a chance. That sounds foolish to me. Who would do that? If you have 9 capable candidates, why not endorse 9 people? But what about the other people? Get with our program. Or try to get elected without us. That's reasonable to me. I did not hear, again, I haven't seen the list. I didn't look it up. Again, I was dealing with an exceptionally difficult client before I came on. She wasn't difficult, but I was doing some stuff, and again, I've been really, really busy. I've been busier than I should be. And so I did not see maybe, hold on, let me see if I can find the Democratic slate. Some of this stuff you can do while you're on the air, but I don't be feeling like doing it. Not today. Come on. Oh, okay. All right, let me see. Hamilton County. No, I don't want to see that. That's what I want to see. Oh, stop it. I'm not paying for nothing. Everybody want me to pay for their content. I understand it. Let's see. Do we have it here? All right. Look like what? Ryan James, Mark Jeffries, Scotty Johnson, Jan Michelle Lemon Kearney, who again, if she refers to herself as JMLK, I will not vote for her. I will vote for her if she calls herself Jan Michelle Lemon Kearney. But if throughout this whole process, if she calls herself JMLK, I will not vote for her. But I really like her. And I want to vote for her. I just won't vote for that. Evan Nolan, Mika Owens, Seth Walsh, of course, for mayor, Avtab Pureval, Anna Albee, Jeff Cremerding, and that's your slate. That is your slate. Dana says only Lincoln refers to her that way. And it's the stupidest, corniest thing. And if she embraces something that stupid and corny, I can't vote for her. And she did. I heard her say it the last time, and I was like, no, Jan, no. I can't vote for you. How am I feeling about Avtab nowadays? Who's running that's better? Who's running that's better? Now, to be honest, I don't really know how I feel about Avtab. I think I've heard Avtab say some things that I was like, huh? And I've heard him say some things that I was like, okay. I don't know the things that I've heard and seen them do where I'm like, huh? I don't hear anyone challenge him. Give me an explanation. Why'd you do that? Why'd you say that? And I don't, because nobody challenges him, it's hard to be exceptionally, I'm going to say critical, but it's difficult. Hold on, I'm trying to see something. I'm trying to go back and see something. Shahira says, I think he said endorsing 9 was okay, not 10. I think he said for people to don't vote for 9 people, but someone correct me if I'm wrong. Which he is you talking about? Which he are you talking about? I got a feeling about who you're trying to defend. You're trying to defend your boy. And if you're trying to defend your boy, you're wrong. If that's what you're doing, if you're trying to defend Lincoln Ware, that's not what he said. I heard him. What you said he said is not what he said. But you might be talking about somebody else. I know you had to defend your boy, but yeah. If that's who you're talking about, I'm correcting you because you're wrong. But again, you might have been talking about somebody else. But no, that's your slate. That's your slate. And again, it's reasonable to endorse a full slate. I think it's unwise, unreasonable, not sensible, borderline stupid to even suggest that they should endorse less than the 9. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Now, I won't vote for all 9 of those people. I mean, I kind of already have an idea of who I'm leaning towards. I have an idea of who I'm leaning towards. But some of those people will get my vote. Some of those people will get my vote. I know Scotty will get my vote. He said some things that I just fundamentally disagreed with, but I know Scotty enough to believe that his heart is in the right place and he's trying to do what he believes is right. I just don't always agree with him on what's right, which is fine. Because sometimes just knowing that you're doing a thing for the right reasons, even if I don't necessarily agree with the thing. Like, remember when he said something about charging people if their guns get stolen out of their car? I don't agree with that at all. Not even a little bit. I believe his heart was in the right place. Like, we got to do something and we got to make people aware that people are stealing guns from cars and, we want to bring down crime and all. So his heart was in the right place. Although I feel like the thought was exceptionally misguided. And then because I believe when your heart is in the right place, you can be talked down from nonsense. Which I don't think he would endorse that now. I think enough people said to him, like, bro, come on, man. That don't even make no sense. You don't arrest people because somebody broke in their car and stole something. And he was like, okay, you're right. I'm just trying to help, So when your heart is in the right place, I think you're open to hearing different thoughts and criticisms of your idea. And you're willing to say, I might have been a little misguided with that. I'm just trying to help. So Scotty's one where I'm like, okay. Of course, like I said, Jan Michelle Lemon Kearney. I like Jan Michelle. And I think she's smart. And she's another one who I believe her heart is in the right place. And I believe she's doing good work. Other than that, I kind of got to think on everybody else. I'm kind of leaning towards Lakita, Miss White, Lakita Cole. I'm kind of leaning towards her. Again, I believe her heart is also in the right place. I believe she's smart. Sometimes she do come off as a little angry, but that don't necessarily mean that she is. I'm not saying she is. Sometimes she come off that way. But I like Lakita, and I believe that she has the best interest of the black community at heart. And fundamentally, I'm voting as a black man in Cincinnati. Well, as a black man, I'm just voting. I'm just a citizen in my race. Stop it. I'm voting as a black man in Cincinnati. Is Stefan officially running? I don't know if he got his signatures. But believe it or not, I think if Stefan is on the ballot, I might vote for Stefan. I'll have to have a conversation with Stefan. I see him out. You know what I'm saying? I'll have to have a conversation with Stefan. But again, he another one of those where I believe his heart is in the right place. I believe his heart is in the right place. So I will have to have a conversation with him, just kind of about some things, I'll just say. But he could definitely win my vote. But again, I know where I'm kind of leaning right now. I know where I'm kind of I don't know why this meant leaning. I know where I'm kind of leaning right now. And I'll look into some other people. It might be, another diamond in the rough or two. I am still upset with Mika Owens for giving away that black majority. I know a lot of people are like, oh, that don't matter. That's not important. I'm like, really? You telling me as a black person that having black representatives is unimportant? Like, that don't make sense to me. Well, but what if they not voting in your best interest anyway? Well, I have to believe to some degree that they've experienced things in this society that could influence them. Not necessarily will, but that could influence them in a way that they understand how this society, because I realized something that I realized something. Not every black person in America processes their experience in America the same way. Not every black person in America processes their experience. Like, even if you hey, I was pulled over by the police, it was racial profiling, they beat my ass and blah, blah, blah. A lot of people then would be like, hey, we need some police watchdogs to make sure that this stuff don't happen again, blah, blah, blah. Some people will take that same experience and process it like it must have been something I did wrong, so I had to carry myself better next time so that the next time a police officer racially profiles me that, I don't put myself in a position where I get myself beat down. You can't always blame the police for the way that they act. And it might have been the person before me that they pulled over was resisting, and so they still mad about that, and so they beat me down because he was resisting, and it ain't his fault, it's that other black guy's fault. So now I don't really like black people that much because that black guy got me beat down by that police officer. And you're like, whoa, how is that the conclusion that you came to? So every black person doesn't process their experience in America, their experience with racism, discrimination, and, all that stuff. That everybody doesn't process it the same way. And don't mean that they're wrong. It just means it's different. It just means it's different. Because I thought it was crazy. The first time I ever heard someone make the excuse for police that what happened to me might have been because of his previous experience, and he took that into the next experience, and somehow that absolved that officer who violated all kind of rules and rights and laws. And I thought, that's crazy. How could you do it? But it's just different. It's just different. Carolyn says, do you know the 28-year-old gentleman that's on the Democratic slate? I don't. Nat says, his heart. Stefan endorsed a MAGA Republican to represent us in the U.S. House. Is it conscientious stupidity or sincere ignorance? Or just the money? I think he'd be confused about some stuff. That's why I said I would need a conversation with him. I think he'd be confused about some stuff. And I need to know who he got around him, to help guide him. I believe his heart be in the right place. I don't necessarily know that his head is always in the right place. But again, I believe that because your heart is in the right place, the right people around you can help guide you in the right way. But I said it's a conversation I would have to have with him. It's a conversation I would have to have an actual conversation with him. Emanuel got some sun. I feel like I look the same. I wasn't outside a lot. I was inside. I wasn't outside. I was inside. So I don't know where the sun came from. I don't know where y'all getting that from. I think I look the same. Maybe it's the lighting or something. I feel like I look the same. LaDonna says, does he have a real job? Well, how are you defining a real job? Does he make enough money to support himself? However he makes enough money to support himself, that would be a real job as long as it's not illegal. That would be a real job. Like if his real job is riding around on that little scooter thing. That's not a scooter. I don't know what it's called. Riding around on that thing, with a sign, and that's enough to pay his bills and whatnot. Who's to say that's not a real job? He been doing it for years. You know what I'm saying? Who's to say that's not a real job? Jen says, anyone running for any office should be learning all of the ins and outs of that particular office many years before they run. They should be ready to hit the ground running as soon as they're elected. In theory, you should, but some people, there are people who had to get in a thing before you learn all the ins and outs. LaDonna said, I just asked. I know. I'm not saying nothing wrong with you for asking. I'm just giving my thoughts on the question. That's it. All right, y'all. I got to get out. Oh, it's 7:30. All right, I got to get out of here. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. I'm shocked that y'all hung out with me this long. Cause if I would have glanced up and saw the time, I know I done said I'm out of here like 10 times, but I'm out of here this time for real. I want everybody to get out and Enjoy this beautiful day if you can. And as always, be the reason that somebody smiles today. Until next time, it's been the Afternoon Experiment. I'm Emanuel Livingston. I'm out, y'all. Peace.